Before starting the comparative test drive between new Toyota Camry and previous one, I have been thinking for a long time about how to make this video top on YouTube. And I realized that nobody is interested in car's steering response, braking, its dynamics data, etc. For being successful on YouTube, you must use dirty words, as they sound so emotional and frankly speaking everybody uses them. So speak the same language with viewers and 200–300K views are guaranteed. But if you plan to get 1 million views, then other promotional tools should be used. Please welcome our volunteers, Lina and Polina. These two beautiful volunteers will assist us today and even become test dummies. Oops, sorry, I mean test models. During the slalom, new Camry behaves good enough, surprisingly good enough. The best time of new Camry is 11 seconds with minimal driver's efforts. Comparing to the new one, it seems like previous Toyota goes in all directions at the same time and the driver needs to walk a lot. Less comfortable, more rolls inside. At the end it loses comparing to the new one, but not that much. This time, for clear comparison, we use the previous Toyota Camry version, as usually our subscribers think that marketers are cheating people. Producers just change the car design and that's it, any technical changes. And now Polina, who's not that good in car characteristics, is saying that it's not that scary inside the new Camry as inside the old Camry, which means that more comfort and safety really exist here. By the way, I'm thankful to all those who advised me to ask passengers' opinion, so let's listen to our test models. Do you like such buttons more than touch-sensitive? Yeah, I think that these ones are more comfortable. They look good. I really like them. You really do, yeah? And what about this asymmetrical design? Do you like it more than a square type? Yeah, it looks modern and cool. And why it's cool? Have you ever seen something like this before? Jesus, I'm telling bullshit and looking foolish. Well, but it's really modern and cool. Okay, I like this design. These metallic elements look attractive. I'm sure that you have already watched 3 billion test drives of Toyota Camry and you know enough about all these buttons inside and outside. So I'll just tell what I like and what I don't like. Firstly, I'm really glad that we have traditional buttons instead of touch-sensitive. Therefore, it's very easy to understand which one to press and what to expect. Concerning multimedia system, there are some things that I'm not fond of, especially after Skoda Karoq and Volkswagen Touareg test drives. I'm used to scrolling pages, but here inside Toyota Camry, these movements are for brushing away the files and mosquitoes, which can suddenly attack your multimedia system display. Now a trip computer, any disappointment, it's big and quite informative. I'm really surprised that there is any button for lifting up the rear window curtain. You need to enter the menu, search for it in a trip computer, only after choose lift or shield the curtain. Thank God, when selecting the reverse gear, the curtain goes down automatically and you can see everything clearly. One more explanation is that you choose the position of the curtain for once. I don't think that there is a need to change the curtain position for several times during the day. Nevertheless, it seems strange. The main decoration of Toyota Camry interior design are these amazing aluminum inserts. As once I was really shocked because of red wood grain inserts inside Toyota Camry 40th generation. It was awful despite its external design. It was nice. Those carrot color elements were disgusting. Meanwhile, Japanese continued to say, "Listen, due to our inquiry results, Europeans admire wood grain inserts inside the car." Guys, yes, they admire, but not that color. And finally, 10 years after, we have this aluminum wood, and it looks good. If evaluate Toyota's interior design briefly, it's classical and asymmetrical. Just a few straight lines. And I think that you also like this design. Now let's talk about materials quality. A lot of leather and soft plastics, thread stitching, but when I look at the armrest, I don't like the leather quality. By the way, when bloggers in 2018 reveal that there is no leather inside cars anymore, I would like to mention that yes, guys, car producers stopped to use leather a long time ago. That's why a term automotive leather exists. Yes, it's not natural. Sometimes it's a piece of leather cut melted on fabrics. It's not a secret for anybody except the bloggers. 99% of modern cars have this automotive leather inside, while authentic leather interiors still exist, but inside luxury and premium vehicles, priced $100,000 and more. So don't look like an ant bear, you know, with such a long nose. Oh my God! Toyota Camry costs $30,000 and doesn't have a real leather inside. It's not here for a long time already, so wake up. You can't see it, but now my leg is trying to find the brake lever, which is usually a foot brake, not a hand brake, if we are talking about Japanese vehicles. But there is any foot or hand brake. Here we have one more present, my friends. And this present is called electric brake. If you could reach it, I would tell it, "Come on, sweetie, let me kiss you," because the whole era is coming to its end. Or what if warehouses of brake levers were really burned and Toyota didn't have any other choice as to use the electric brake? Anyway, thank you guys, I've almost shed tears. Now let's talk about the driver's position. Yes, pillar's angle isn't that good, but customers like coupe silhouette when the vehicle looks rapid. I also like it, but at the same time, I don't have enough space for my head. The driver's seat is electrically operated. Let me check. Yeah, at the top line vehicle, on the right side of a passenger seat, there is the same adjustment. Here we have the seat's heater, and this button is in the visible place. But the windscreen and steering wheel don't have a heating option, while even low-range Korean vehicles, as Japanese call them, even when they are matchbox small, they do have a steering wheel heater button. And Toyota Camry, being the stronghold of bourgeois, does not have the steering wheel heater button. Also, auto light button appeared here, but the light steering option has disappeared. It's very hard to choose between these characteristics. Of course, I would prefer to have both, but seems like we need to choose. What else do we have here? A start button, and seems like keyless go access is also available. One more interesting point. Is it possible to connect mobile phone to your Toyota Camry? Yes, it's possible by Bluetooth, but if you would like to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, just forget about it, as Toyota company, how to tell it correct, told Android to get lost. Do you know why? Yes, because Toyota thinks that Google collects too many data and Toyota doesn't want to share it with nobody. The data is not about customers' routes or their speed. Generally speaking, Toyota is aware of Cambridge Analytica scandal, and that's why obviously plans to use its own solutions for controlling all the info about a driver and passengers. After all these scandals, I'm on Toyota's side. Toyota Camry is a classical business class. That's why a second row of seats are done perfectly. Just look at this armrest. It's wide, comfortable, and when we press the button, the icons appear. We understand that we have 3-zone climate control, we can control everything here, we also can adjust the volume of multimedia system sound and switch the songs. But the main valuable and interesting thing is that we can adjust the backrest of seats. Right now, I have tipped my back maximum in the seat and found myself in a business class of a plane. Curtain we also have here. Do you remember, on the front seat I was complaining about the absence of curtain regulation button and that it was very hard to reach in the menu. And do you know what? The driver is not allowed to regulate it easily. It's a tool for passengers. They have this curtain button here. Press it once, the curtain goes down. Press it twice, it goes up. And of course, there are some questionable things. For example, would be good to have one more unit for some snacks or phones close to cup holders. Okay, I'm kidding. But it would be great to take off this cover and get additional space inside, but there is any. Why? It's a good question. We start a braking test at a speed of 60 km per hour. New Camry has Bridgestone tires. The worst braking result is 11 meters 17 centimeters. The best result is 10.60. The average result of 3 trials is 10 meters 82 centimeters. The previous Camry has Yokohama tires. The worst result is 11 meters 49 centimeters. The best 10.99. The average result of 3 trials is 11 meters 7 centimeters. Not that bad, but the new Camry wins. Now some words about previous Camry design. Comparing to a new design, this one is 2D, with calm, straight and even laconic lines, almost without any relief. Not all the customers were excited of chrome elements, but they didn't influence the sales. So now I'm inside the previous Toyota Camry. Frankly speaking, I'm not that guy who likes to talk about problems. As you understand, I'm a hatchet man who always talk only about advantages and benefits of the car, but now when we already have a new car version and company is not interested in sales of previous Toyota Camry anymore, I can tell the truth. So, where should I put my mobile phone? Yes, we can put it in the unit of cup holders. But in this case, you lose a space for cups. And if you think that this place is dedicated to your cell phone, yes, it can be. if you still use tiny Nokia. If you do, then the chance exists, if not, any chances, as this is an ashtray. So it's a big deal where to put your cell phone. Maybe put it to the glove box or leave it here in such a strange way close to the USB connector. Unfortunately, I can't equally compare Camry 70 and Camry 50 as they have different grades. But we can easily compare the interior design. As I have told you before, the main difference is that square-like design inside old Toyota Camry. Everything is quite simple and symmetrical, and inside new Camry everything is totally asymmetrical. For sure, the multimedia screen is bigger here, and you can watch a real movie on it in parking mode, and on this display you can always listen to music. I mean, watch, what are you listening for? Also, between Toyota Camry 50 and 70 exists an optional difference, no matter what the grade is. The new Camry is equipped with a suite of safety systems, with an active cruise control and other systems, created to save your life in a vehicle. Concerning the old one, yes, it has a stability control, ABS, airbags, but all these items are not united into one electronic system. The steering wheel became smaller in the new Camry. It reminds me of the trolley bus concerning the adjustments. Now I'll find the proper lever, and there are height and stem adjustments. The height level is not enough for me, but at the same time seems like the seats are located more deep. The seat of the new Camry feel more comfortable and have better lateral support. Materials quality. Everything here has a classical wood grain, thank God. Not the carrot-colored plastics like inside 40. But I like more the aluminum-like inserts, which owns a high line of the new Camry. No need to examine the rear seats, as this grade is too poor. Let me remind you that previous Toyota Camry generation had the adjustable backrests, an armrest with traditional, not touch-sensitive buttons. And the main benefit of that armrest was that removable cover with a shelf inside for some stuff. And new Camry doesn't have it. That's why I'm disappointed. Now about the trunk. The dimension difference isn't that big. The old one has bigger volume, but when you press a button to open it, it just comes unlatched. While in new one the trunk opens fully. Due to the producer, the new trunk geometry was enhanced. Here you'll find more right angles, more luggage space. And here is a quite strange configuration because of another suspension geometry. And yeah, many of you might ask, if the boot is powered, where is that button? Japanese answer: search for it in Lexus. And our answer is: no need for that button when you own such legs. During the ELK test, the previous Camry acts confident at a speed of 60 km per hour, and the same calm at a speed of 65 and even 70 km per hour. Well, 70 isn't that easy for this vehicle, but it's still possible to bypass the deer. The new Camry looks more stable and feels like rolls less. 60-65 km per hour is a warm-up for it. Ladies agree. 70 km per hour is okay, but a driver needs to be careful. Now the speed is 5 km per hour higher, and results that new Camry knows how to pass this challenge. I'm sure that speed of 80 is also passable for it, but it will cost us time, several road markers and a bumper. So, share your thoughts. How do you feel inside this car? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel safe? Well, I feel comfortable and safe, but full of adrenaline. Be ready, you'll have such an exam at the driver's school. You know what? I already have a driving license. It's good. Yeah, I just need more practice. I have good news for you. You won't pass this exam at school. Thank God. When I start to talk about Toyota Camry powertrain, I always begin with that the engine and transmission gearbox is a reliable classics of Toyota company. 4-cylinder, 2.5-liter gasoline engine, 181 horsepower, 231 newtons of torsion torque. 0 to 100 acceleration time, 9.7 seconds. 6-speed automatic transmission. By the way, right now you could hear the road marking crossing alert sound. This means that Toyota got new safety system and active cruise control. Now the vehicle can keep the distance, slow down and brake to a halt if it's needed, if a driver didn't make it in a case of any threat or a risk. A lot of critics might be addressed to the transmission gearbox. Why is it 6-speed, not 8-speed? But I'm curious why this engine doesn't have any turbines or any B-turbo. The reason is, Japanese are sure that customers are fully satisfied with these engines, especially with total powertrain reliability. No problems with such techniques. Yes, you can make an example of German vehicles. The engine with less capacity but empowered by a turbine. As a result, less fuel consumption and more horsepower. But suddenly, Dieselgate occurs, a Volkswagen company makes 20 billion reparation, as these cool and smart engines are like that only until real ecological standard check. Of course, the powertrain isn't the main benefit of Toyota, but the suspension, it's unbelievably comfortable and quiet. It's a paradise for your ears comparing to the vacuum sounds inside European cars. And a price tag, $100K, all-inclusive acoustic discomfort when you drive along Ukrainian potholes. Yes, it's our fault that we have such awful quality roads, but it seems like Toyota knows about the road conditions. That's why the company has produced such comfortable and energy-intensive suspension in our world of total pavement off-road. One more good and useful thing that Toyota Camry gives you a smooth ride. It doesn't instigate to go fast. Moreover, with the previous Toyota Camry, I have my own record, 6.5 liters fuel consumption, while the engine is 2.5 liters. But of course, if you are willing for a fast ride, for sure Camry can make it. It accelerates up to 210 km per hour and it's easily steering. Concerning the 6-speed automatic transmission gearbox, I guess I have already told that story. Nevertheless, during the test drive of previous Camry, I had a chance to meet the main engineer of that car, and I didn't hesitate to ask him, listen, all the world is willing to use 8 or 9-speed gearboxes, or at least 7-speed double-clutch gearbox. But he interrupted me with a question, for what do they need it? My answer was, for a faster acceleration. The Japanese engineer looked at me and said, listen, this car is equipped with a 3.5-liter engine with enough horsepower and torsion torque. For what do you need 8-speed transmission gearbox? Why are you insisting on a bigger torsion torque? It's not a small motor for a window lifter or electric power steering. You have a normal V6 engine with enough torsion torque. Moreover, this 6-speed gearbox operates the same quick as DSG. Nothing is twitching and collapsing. So one more time, what's the purpose of the double-clutch gearbox? I continued to argue until we had a drink, and he told me that one of his cars was Porsche Boxster. New Toyota Camry engine displacement is 2.5 liters. This 4-cylinder atmospheric gasoline engine gives 181 horsepower and 231 newtons of torque. 0 to 100 acceleration time is 9.7 seconds. And what's interesting, in reality it accelerates exactly in that time. But on paper, the previous generation is faster than a new one. Very rare and strange fact until we take into account all ecological standards, as they convert the vehicles into veggies on wheels. In general, previous Camry has the same engine displacement and power output, 181 horsepower, the same as torque, 231 newtons. On paper, 0 to 100 acceleration time is 9 seconds. In reality, a little bit less, 8.9. That's why it's interesting to see the result of quarter-mile race. Possibly the new settings of a transmission gearbox and a mysterious engine enhancement will make new Camry win this race. But all of our hopes have immediately disappeared when old Camry was confidently ahead, meter by meter from the beginning until it won this test. I hope you liked this comparative test drive, as I and our ladies have done our best. So put a thumb up,
Subscribe to our channel.